Tell the Abass story now, since Wally's not there. So it's December 29th, 1997. Who remembers what you were doing? Do you remember what you were doing 9/11? Right? When 9/11 happened, I was at Wood Creek golfing with my dad. And they said, small plane at the Trade Center. We all remember when O.J. Simpson was in his white Bronco going down the freeway, like, that's O.J. Simpson. I was at Crawdads on the river at the bar. Don't know why I was there, but that's not really my role. But I was there. I remember watching him, and the whole bar stopped like this, like twice as we're all just watching the TVs, like, what? LAPD's chasing O.J. Simpson, right? And it was just pretty radical. It was like, oh, the Jews. And so what were you doing December 29th, 1997? Because a little boy was born into this world in Iraq, and specifically Baghdad, a war-torn nation. And he grew up on concrete. He slept on concrete. He never had a mattress. You think your mattress sucks, your pillow not too comfortable? He slept on concrete. He would step over dead bodies on his way to school. It was like crazy what he succeeded through. In 2006, they came to America with $100 in their pocket, a family of 4, and they landed in New York City. Anybody want to go to New York City with the $100 in your pocket and say now exist? In New York City, that's a harsh climate. And so they came there, and his dad knew how to cook, so he got a job cooking at some restaurant, and they just started to survive. By 2012, they had enough money saved up. They're like, this East Coast is way too cold. You know how cold it gets in New York? I mean, it's just unbelievable. And they moved to California, and they picked somewhere really inexpensive that they could afford to live in, San Jose. Back in 2012, I'm like, your dad went big, right? And he goes, no, we lived in a 1-bedroom, the 4 of us, in 2012. Now Abass is now, what's that make him, 15 years old? So he enters San Jose. And then they just started doing anything they could to survive for money. By 2016, they buy 4 cars and open a car lot on someone at a piece of land, and they built a little shack and go, Abass's car lot, and they had 4 used cars. And after 6 months or 4 months, none of them had sold. Ooh, not one car. And then they were so desperate, they didn't know what to do. And Abass is now 16 years old, 17 years old. And he goes, I'm a wizard at the internet. And he gets on, he looked at where all the other dealerships are, and he started running ads because he was quick. All of a sudden, people showed up and bought their cars. And they're like, Abass, do it again. And they started selling more and more cars because Abass could learn how to do ads. He's like, the old dogs, the really old people, the 22-year-olds and the 25-year-olds, they're the old people. They didn't know how to do that, but the 16-year-old kid did. And he ended up being the marketing arm of that family, and it started growing. Well, Abass, by the time he's 18, he's like, wants to do something different, wants to break on his own. At this time, his achievements were a credit card with a $5,000 limit. So he takes the credit card and he buys this real estate course, and he gets licensed. It's now 2018, something like that. And he gets this real estate license, and he gets licensed. He's 18 years old in San Jose, and he's still learning to speak English. Did we mention that? And he starts doing real estate, and he's on the struggle bus. Anybody struggle in this room? He does have a mattress. He's no longer sleeping on concrete, but they're still poor. And for the next 6 months, he started calling people every day, and he called over 4,000 homeowners. He worked the phones 12 hours a day relentlessly. He got to the point where he had a headset, and then he got another headset, and he got Mojo, and it's dialing. He calls thousands of people. Nobody listed their home with him. He had no success after half a year. And he's like, man, what do I got to do? What do I got to do? And he's like, he still had a little bit of money. So he got a virtual assistant from the Philippines for like $7 an hour. And he said, what if they dial for me too? Maybe it's my accent, whatever. And they started dialing, and they started setting some appointments. And he actually ended up, from the time he hired that VA, still after half a year, no success. Now he's calling in this VA. The VA was able to get appointments. He's an 18-year-old kid. He sold 12 homes his first year. Not much, but in San Jose, it was, I think he made $275,000 once he sold. And he's like, oh my gosh. And he goes, well, if I did that with one VA, what if I had 2 or 3 calling? He gets 2 or 3 calling people in San Jose. Next year, he makes $2 million. And he bought 60 properties. That was last year. He made $2 million and bought 60 properties in the Bay Area. And it was his second year in real estate.
Wow.
This year, he's buying 1,000 properties because he's a sponge. He was in Atlanta, Georgia. I flew from San Jose to Atlanta. Abass, I have a picture of him. I should have put it up on the screen. And me and Abass, and I think he's 23 years old. He looks every bit of 23. He had a tie on and a blazer. But I'm telling you what, the only thing holding you back is you. You are the only thing holding you back. It's not the market. San Jose, the Bay Area is super competitive. Okay, it is you and his ego. He goes. I actually go in my backyard, and they live in. They see still. I mean, I don't know where he lives now, but he goes kind of that first year or two. Because I didn't even live that were nice, but he goes. I'd actually go sleep on the back patio on the concrete to remember what I didn't want to go back to. Spend the night on the concrete, like you close the slider and your puppies are out there on the concrete. He lay out there under the stars and just remember what it was like in Baghdad. And I believe we are so comfortable. Put your coat on, don't get cold, right? Right? Oh, it's all about comfort, and protecting your ego. I said it before, some of you are just not desperate enough to succeed. Think about it that way. Are you desperate enough to do what you need to do? I saw Cindy Silva get into real estate, and she was desperate to make it. She scared me a little. I'm like, I don't know. Darcy, are you sure? I'm sure. I don't know. She's, please give her a chance. I'll take responsibility for her. I'm telling you, I believe her. She's going to be great. Trust me on this. It's okay. I'm going to trust you on this. Normally, I made all the decisions who joins my team and who doesn't. And I hired Cindy really because of Darcy's belief in you. So who do you believe in? And who are you cheering for? And the rest of the story was Cindy. She killed it. Probably one of the most successful agents I've ever hired in real estate. And I wasn't necessarily seeing it when I first met her. Now her husband, Jared, is in the room. Where's Jared? I love Jared. He walks in, I get excited. There he is. Every time he walks in, I get excited when I see all of you, but for some reason when I see Jared, I get pumped, man. I love that guy. I love Jared. And anybody hear of the Golden One Center where the Kings play? He wired it all up with what do you call that stuff?
Fiber optics.
Fiber optics, see? And his electricity, kind of that guy who ran the whole stadium, and he was able to step down and retire from that to support Cindy, and they built together as a husband and wife. Said, I'll see you tonight at 6 or 7. They're together every day, and their business is exploding. Cindy went from just her to how many agents on the Cindy Silva team now?
There's 4 of us, a TC and an assistant.
So that's 6, and then it'll go to 16, and it's going to be amazing. And I've watched your life change. Has your guys' life changed?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I think you would have done it anyways, but I just want you to know it was Darcy Stratton, her belief in you. So who are you pulling for? Who are you introducing to someone? Like, how much money did you make from convincing me to hire Cindy? How much money did you make? So it's not always about the money. And what is life about? It's about significance. I get it. Some of you need the success. That's great, but I need show me the money, Jerry. Remember Jerry Maguire? Show me the money, Jerry. I'll never do that again, right? I realize his waist with no shirt and mine was a little different, okay? But I'm a dude, I even thought it was sexy, okay? I mean, it was pretty crazy, But Cuba Gooding Jr., was that him?
Yeah.
That was so awesome. I mean, you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Or the movie where she's like, you had me at hello, right?
Yeah.
Remember that? I'll never forget that. I'm like, oh my God, I was crying. I cry at every movie, not unusual, okay? But be moved. Remember who you were as an 8 and 10-year-old child. Allow yourself to move emotionally. Put on music that moves you. Get around people who move you. Don't surround yourself with positive people who lift you up. If people are tearing you down, run like hell. You heard that saying, if you're going through hell, just don't stay there.
Yeah.
Get out of there. Get away from people who pull you down. Protect your inner circle, those 4 or 5 people. And that's what I've done on the Brent Gove team since 1999. I come and I give my best. I try to love, support. I'm not perfect. But how many feel I've kind of did what I could do, right? And that's all life is. You give your best, you love, and not everyone's going to love you. Not everyone loves me. I get it. It's good, but I'm going to love them. And write this down if you're taking notes. Respond well. Your job in life is to respond well. Everybody can act a certain way, right? It's not how you act, it's how you respond. When the stuff hits the proverbial fan, how do you respond? With F-bombs, with the tirade of expletives, with this, you go to, or do you step up and be a man, be a woman, take it and absorb it and say, you know what? The buck stops here. I'll take responsibility for this. It's not even my fault, but I'll take it and let's go and make it better. That's what a leader does. And so I want to challenge you guys in life tonight. What you watch on TV matters. Your morning routine. Did you wake up and exercise? Did you, what did you do? Did you read something good? Did you plan out your day? I was here in the building at 6:30 a.m. with Stroop. Man, we got stuff to do. We got mountains to climb. We have lives to change.